Second one was a little bit more geared towards me. The question, all right, like that. And there was, I believe, let me double check. All right, I don't want to mess it up, but they asked, how was it, going through boot camp in the Marine Corps. So I was in the Marine Corps, like that. And so let me double check. I want to double check real quick. All right.
I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
I was in Private Thunder.
Did you have any? Did you ever have a family member in the military?
My dad's dad was in the military. He served.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Army. I think it was the Army. We still have. The flag from his coffin is still in my.
Mm-hmm.
It's still at my parents' house.
Yeah. What was the hardest part about being in Marine Corps basic training? That was the second question coming up. All right, so mentally, it was the hardest thing, for me. Physically, people like I would get why physically it would be hard for some, being an 18-year-old coming out of high school, going right into the military and stuff. And then on top of that, it was a different time. You know what I mean? Like now it's a lot softer. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, I have a couple buddies. My brother just came out of the military like that, and he really would always feed us of what's going on like that and how times were just changing. Like after I got out in 2010. Like that, man, it just, a lot of stuff was just changing, policies and things like that, and just, it just got real soft, and it was really trickling down into basic training like that. So I can't speak on that because I'm not in it no more, but I've heard a lot, plus I got a buddy of mine that I've known over 10 years now. Fuck no, man, I've known him since 2008. So how many years? That's 15. Like almost 15 years, yeah. 15. And he was a drill instructor in the Marine Corps, and this was after 2010. He would always tell us, like that, and just how big of a fucking joke it was compared to what we went through and stuff like that. All right, so that's nor here nor there or anything like that. But when I went through, man, it was tough. You know what I mean? So I can see why it would be physically tough for somebody coming in, being an 18-year-old, a fat ass and stuff like that, not really working, hard or anything like that, for sure. Like, right. There's a lot of guys in there that, man, it really built them up, physically, because you had to do that, or if you failed, because like there's three different phases. If you failed any of those phases, you would always get freaking recycled back to day one. Ooh. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ooh. You know what I mean? So physically, if you couldn't, pass certain tests or keep up and things like that, or you freaking would fail, get recycled back, and we call it the fat platoon. You know what I mean? Like that. So you can't, politically that's not correct no more. So your ass can get in trouble for that shit. Right. Now, I mean, I'm talking about when I went into boot camp, bro. I remember one time. So, when they transform you into this yes sir, no sir, I sir robot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that.
Okay.
They brainwash you, and they break you down and build you up how they need you to be, to serve in the military and stuff like that. And so when you're in your platoons and stuff like that, like you have either 2 or 3 drill instructors that are in charge of all those guys like that. You know what I mean? Okay. You have your senior hat, you have your kill hat, and then you have your drill hat like that. All right. So if you were lucky, normally they would have 3. All right. But sometimes you'll have 2, which is just your senior drill instructor like that, and then your drill and your kill hat, the same guy like that. All right. And they all played a different role. Your senior drill instructor, obviously, he controlled everything, like that, and he all the way down, make sure everybody was where they needed to be at like that. Your drill hat taught you everything. Okay. Like that, all the knowledge you needed to know, like all the way from from weapons knowledge, freaking education knowledge, history through the Marine Corps, even teach you how to fucking put your goddamn suit on and fold your bed, things like that, like, and people still will fuck that up, like that, so, and then your krill hat, exactly what it is. He was just there to fucking kill you, so, I got it. So like the fat motherfuckers in there, yeah, he would have field days on those motherfuckers. I remember one time my kill had I got promoted to platoon leader. Like that. And he had it out for me, bro. I don't even know why he had it out for me. You know what I mean? Because like I would like maybe he like a lot of times too, you know, because my brother was my recruiter, you know. Like that. So like you don't put these things 2 and 2 together, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that, you know. When you're actually starting out, you know, you're fucking young and naive and shit like that. But there's a lot of times where, you know, the drill instructor, I mean the drill instructors will talk to the freaking recruiters, and then they catch wind, you know. Oh, your brother's in the Marine Corps. Oh, I'm gonna fuck him up. You know, and they're right. Always called like you know, we don't have phones or anything like that, and you don't see them on their phones, so you don't think those things happen. Yeah, they go in the office, they call them up. Yeah, you know what I mean. Your brother's doing this and this, or like you know, some shit like that. Right. You know what I mean? So man, he had it out for me one time, and it all lasted just 1 week when I was a platoon, a squad leader. That's what I was. It's not a platoon leader. I was a squad leader like that. So there's when you're marching, there's always four squads like that, and I was the leader of that, one of my squads, and he was out for me, man, like that, bro. I don't know, like we're doing army drags, you know what I mean? And like I don't know if you ever were in football where the lineman would probably drag and the guy's just hanging on his neck. Mm-hmm. So we were doing drags like that, and it was the squad bay. The squad bay is probably about, I would say, like 25 yards, you know what I mean, or something like that, all the way down and back, bro. I didn't want to give up. I probably got through it down and back about 10, 15 times. You know what I mean? Bro, I was so fucking tired, bro. So tired. Sounds miserable, you know, bro. And I finally gave up, and freaking and the second I gave up, he fucking fired me from being a squad leader. You know, like that. He wanted me to give up, bro. The next day, because I tried so hard not to give up, the next day, bro, my neck was killing me, dude. Like that. My God. But so things like that, you know, with the kill hot, you know, he purposely, that's his only job, was just to fuck with you all the fucking time. He had not like the drill hat, all right? He was on a timetable, you know what I mean? Like we need to be here and here and here. Like his job was punctuality, you know what I mean? Like that. He had certain windows that he had to educate us, get us all ready to fucking move to the next, you know, to go to cafeteria to eat lunch, to go to the class to learn this, to go to freaking be like, and we had to walk everywhere. We didn't even get in cars and drive. We had to walk everywhere. So like you're talking about 50, 60 guys get ready and like get to the next play and like within, you know, like that. So his job was always to have us ready. Well, the kill hat would always fuck up everything the drill hat would do. You know what I mean? So like if there was just an inclination that we probably had 2 minutes left, you know, 2 minutes of just spare time because maybe we finished early like that, and that motherfucker would go find an open lock somewhere, because they always had a habit that like, you know, because we had everything that we ever owned, you know, freaking all our freaking uniforms, our underwear, our shorts, you know, all our mail, you know, anything, our toothbrush, our razors and stuff like that, all of it, all our personal like it wasn't really our personal belongings, but it was, you know, at the time like that, you know, was in a box, you know what I mean? And it had a lock, that was your lock. If that lock was, and it was a rotary lock too, you know what I mean? If he came there and he fucking tugged on it and that lock was open, bro, everybody get on the senior drill instructor line. There's 2 lines, all right? There's in the squad bay, there's, you know, on one side is all nothing but bunk beds, on the other side nothing but bunk beds, but there's always 2 thick yellow lines all the way down from the door all the way up to the front door of the senior drill instructor's freaking house. You know what I mean? His house meaning his office. Right. All right, like that. All right. And then they'll count you down. Get on the senior drill 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and what, like that, you know what I mean? Right. And freaking, if you weren't on that line, it got even worse, you know what I mean? And you better freeze. Nobody better be moving when he like that. All right? So then he'll come by, have a lock in hand. All right? And he'd be like, hey, recruit Valdez, like that, you know? I never did it, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like that. Go ahead and get your locker room, your locker out here. I'll be in the front. Dump it out. Everything. All right? Everybody else, unlock your lockers. All right? You know, get like, you know, 20, 19, and it'll count. And like, it was always fast numbers. Like they would start at 100. In 100 seconds in senior drill instructor time, it's actually like 15 seconds because they skip numbers. Right.
Just say random
so now everybody's out in front on the senior drill instructor. This box probably weighed about 30 to 40 pounds. You know what I mean? Because it has all your shit in there. So you're just there, hands out like this. And he's like, hold him up. Y'all better not drop him, like, because he's fucking with us, you know what I mean? And then once he sees it, all right, everybody dump it. And then as soon as everybody dump it, he'll go in there and he'll walk kicking shit, kick everything, kicking shit like that. Mine, all right, we have to be somewhere in about 10 minutes. All right. So he's looking at the time. He knows exactly how much time he has. He has like 30 seconds left to fuck with people. All right, like that. All right, and he's gonna take every single 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
All right,
bro.
so guess what? Now everything is everywhere. He kicked everything everywhere. All right, now we gotta go somewhere. We gotta put that shit back, right? You don't have time to fucking look if that's your letters or that's yours. Like, no, you're grabbing whatever it is, you're stuffing it in the everything better be in the boxes. And it doesn't matter if it's my shit, your shit, his shit, doesn't matter, bro. Stick this shit in there. Lock everything up. Everybody's tugging on this shit like that and get back in line. You know, like that. They could probably give us like 200 seconds, which is in their time is about 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Because we gotta go. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, bro. Shit like that all the time. Bro. So they're always fucking with you all the time. Crazy. So like the hardest part about like in the Marines when I went in the Marine Corps at the time, like it was a big fucking head game all the time. You know what I mean? Like the physical aspect for me, it was not a big like you know you're talking about me being young. I'm coming off my wrestling, you know, freaking season and stuff like that. So like I'm in great shape. I'm running fucking, you know, I've always ran about sub 20 minute freaking 3 miles. You know, I always got all my pull-ups, always got all my the 100 like always. So like the PFTs back then is 3 mile run, freaking your pull-ups. You had a perfect PFT was that you did your pull-ups. They always started with your pull-ups. If you got 20 pull-ups, you got a perfect score for that. You got 100 crunches, all right, in less than 2 minutes. 100 crunches in less than 2 minutes, you get a perfect score for that. The thing for me is just I was not a big runner. All right, 18-minute freaking 3 mile. That was a perfect score. I like the fastest I ever got. I did my 3 miles was 18 minutes and 50 seconds, bro. I was hauling ass. You know what I mean, I still can never break freaking.
Bro, that's fast.
Like that,
bro.
yeah.
That's way too
so
fast for
like
me.
I never had problems with that. You know, shooting at the range, and then like when I was in boot camp, you know, freaking I came out as a sharpshooter. Like that, the swim qual, and I was always a strong swimmer, everything like that, you know. So like the physical aspect was nothing for me, you know what I mean? It was always just the mental thing. Like I remember always telling myself all the time, you know, because this coming back like to wrestling days and stuff, I'm like, you know, this can't last forever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm fucking exhausted, I'm tired, you know. Maybe we're doing some night ops fucking shit where we already been up fucking 22 hours and stuff. Like I get I'm fucking tired, but you know, I know it's not gonna last forever. Even like when they're doing all the head games like that, I just kept telling myself that, you know.
Bro, that not anywhere near that level at all. At all. But I feel like a lot of the stuff they do, because like I feel like law school was hazing.
I was going to ask you, okay, so you were in the military, but are you in a fraternity?
No.
You were in a fraternity?
I wasn't in a fraternity, bro. But I feel like law school was hazing because when you think about what law is, right? It's law. It's rules that they change every 2 years. It's written down someplace, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to be able to read it and analyze it. But in law school, you go back to talking about chattel and whether or not people, you know, what they were doing in the 1800s, and like I get it, but it's not the 1800s anymore. So that's great. But then they also will do things like almost like they did. I'm sure you heard something similar to this in the Marine Corps. They were like, look around. You know, 60% of you won't be here next year.
Oh, bro, we started about 60 guys, and then our graduation numbers, I believe it was like less than 30.
Bro,
yeah, half the platoon freaking.
But you know they tell you that stuff, but it's all to get in your head, like from very early on, and they start, oh, you got to deal with the curve, and people flunk out, and they do this and they do that, but I feel like there's a certain level of mental toughness that you need in life, to be able to get through because what was I was just looking at something the other day. And the guy, I was listening to Eric Thomas, and he said, "What's the first thing that they teach you how to do in the military?" And he was like, and I don't know if it's true, but he said it, and it sounded good. He said that they teach you what to do if your gun jams, and how to drag how to take care of an injured soldier, right? Mm-hmm. And he said the reason they do it is because like you have to prepare. Nobody ever prepares for like the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like, nobody ever prepares for what's going to happen when it gets hard.
Well, that's our motto. You know, that's, you know, freaking all the time is, you know, prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
And you know, and that's what I feel like that hazing does. Like if you think, like if everybody sat back in law school was just a bunch of people sitting in their offices, like, you know, drinking coffee in the morning, telling their secretaries what to do, and you know, and making, you know, $250,000 a year, like, okay, this is easy. But what happens when you, bro, they used to ask us, it's ridiculous. They used to teach us how to like look for the laws in the library with paper books.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what happens if all the electricity goes out?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm kind of a smart ass. I was like, if all the electricity goes out, nobody's going to be thinking about what's going on in fucking court. Like, all the electricity's out. Like, what the fuck is the problem? Like, but at the same time, like, you need to know what to do in the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Because what happens if all your electricity goes out, but everything else is working? So, you know, whatever. And so I just feel like that level of mental toughness you need. And especially in situations like lawyers don't go through the level of stress that a combat soldier has to go through.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, dump all the shit out, find it, pick it up if you can. Like, I don't know, tell you. And then when y'all get back from lunch, like, who's got my drawers?
Yeah. You know, no, honestly, what we did all the time, because like there's very little time, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, like when we had to like fix things and find things and stuff like that, and you know, like that, we had to do it during the night, after like they put us to bed and stuff like that. And like, you better not get caught. It's like they had night watch, but like they're honestly, the night watch should be watching out for the drill instructors, because there was always one guy on duty, you know, like that. You know, one of the drill instructors was always on duty. So the night watch, there's 2 night watches, and their sole job is to tell us when the fucking drill instructor is out of his house in the middle of the night, like 12, 1 o'clock, you know what I mean? Well, like, cause like we're still kind of fucking around, you know, and like we're trying to freaking write a letter to our girl at home and stuff like that. With the light. Like, you can't be doing none of that shit. You need to be asleep, you know what I mean? So
you got to be up at 3 hours.
You know, like that. But bro, like the night watch, a lot of times, you know what I mean, they be fucking asleep. They be in between like the bunks, you know, fucking nodding off and shit, you know, like that. Or they're probably talking to one of their buddies, you know what I mean? Oh my God. And they're so sneaky, they were sneaking in and like that. Bro, I remember when one guy, bro, he was talking to me and shit like that, and freaking the drill instructor snuck up on them. It's like I could see his soul jump out of him. Bro, he was so fucking scared, bro. Oh my God, he got fucked up, man. Like immediately, I'm not moving, so I'm just talking to him and stuff like that, and I just see him like that, and he fucking, his whole soul fucking jumps out, and he snaps to fucking attention and shit like that, bro. Like for a good 10 minutes, bro, I could just hear him on the freaking on the quarterdeck. So the quarterdeck is like the front part of the squad bay, like the main entrance, like that. Bro, fucking just getting killed. Push-ups, burpees, fucking crunches, freaking side saddle hops like that. Like I was like, oh my God, like, bro, I would.
Bro, that reminds me of that scene in Platoon,
maybe Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. You know, I think it's which one had Private Pile in it?
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's legit. Like as close as what you would get cinematic wise, right, to what Bootcamp was, you know, like that. If you really want to see like that, oh man, this is a documentary one, and I gotta look up the name, man. You know, I had it too. I had it on DVD. I don't know why I would buy it on DVD, but you know, I was such a freaking motard, like that, you know. But yeah, freaking but man, it gets crazy, bro, all the time, you know, like that in there. Like the most stressful, I'll tell you the most stressful part of a boot camp, all right, it was never in the squad base and stuff like that where our living quarters were. It was in the cafeteria, bro. The cafeteria was the most hostile place to be in, you know, as a recruit. I can actually see that. Like, man, because you're talking about the whole battalion in there eating at the same time. You know what I mean? So you would have
with a timetable.
Yeah, with a timetable. So you had like we would have alpha not battalion, companies. All right, you have Alpha Company in there eating at freaking, let's say 12 o'clock, because they know Alpha Company needs to get in there. And within Alpha Company is 8 different freaking platoons. You know what I mean? So you need to get 8 different platoons with 40, 50 guys in each platoon, get in the cafeteria, get the fuck out so Bravo Company could get in there and fucking eat. You know what I mean? Like that. And so, man, and you're talking about with 8 freaking 8 platoons in there with one within one company. You're talking about freaking each platoon has 2 to 3 freaking drill instructors. So do the math. You're talking about 16 drill instructors in there, fucking running up and down the fucking tables, yelling at everybody, and you're just there trying to know. So that's where the saying comes like that. Like if you've ever freaking messed around with a military guy, or especially a Marine, is what we are saying is eat now, taste later. Like that's the saying. You know what I mean? We're scarfing down like that. We're fucking inhaling the food like that to get the fuck out. You know what I mean? So
I learned I not on that level, but I learned that from my dad.
Yeah.
So when my dad was in college, he was waiting his acceptance into medical school. Mm-hmm. He got drafted.
Yeah.
And so they put him in ROTC. Like he's going through basic. Uh-huh. And at the time, it was if you were in an institute of higher education, they would let you go to school. Once you completed school, if the war was still going on, then you took whatever your degree was and you went to the war.
Yeah.
So he was waiting to go to med school. So it was like, okay, you'll go to medical school, war still goes on, you'll come out as a doctor, and then you go to be a doctor in the military.
What is this for Vietnam?
It would have had to be. So my dad was born in 1950, so whatever's going on in 68, 65, 66,
yeah,
67,
I would have to say in Vietnam.
Probably Vietnam time, probably near the end of it. Mm-hmm. So when I was growing up, I used to watch my dad eat. Bro, it was the most disgusting thing in the world because he would eat so fast. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like you have an entire family here and you're just killing this food.
Yeah.
And of course, I was older when I asked that because so I was probably 12 or 13, and that's when he told a story, and he was like, "We had this much time to eat, so it didn't matter what was on your plate. If you wanted to eat and be satiated for the rest of the day, you had to eat your food. Like you couldn't, chill out and have conversation. Like you sat down, gave yourself a little room, chomped it down, and then because you had to. He was like, you have to eat, clean up, and be ready to go. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't just like you eat and left your plate on the table. Yeah. And so, bro, I
remember times, like that, like motherfuckers would want to they're eating and then they want to like put more salt and pepper on their fucking food because it's not seasoned right, and then the drill instructor will catch you doing that shit and they'll just take the whole time. Oh, you want to season? They'll put more salt and pepper, like all of it on there, and it just makes it so edible. Like, all right, now go throw that shit away. All right, you're not gonna eat it, right? Or they're forced to eat it.
Oh my god!
Like that, yeah. The best time to go to the cafeteria and eat was if you were on late chow. All right, because everywhere we went, we had to stack all our rifles again. All right, so freaking first thing that we learned in the military, especially in Marine Corps. All right, every man is a rifleman. All right, even though my MOS was supply, I was a supply admin clerk and stuff like that. I'm a rifleman first, like that. Once rounds start going fucking down range and shit like that, I'm getting my rifle, and guess what? Now I need a freaking, shoot back like that. So that was always the mentality like that. So we always carry our rifles everywhere on base like that all the time. If you're more than 1 arm's distance away from your rifle, that freaking like that, you're in trouble. You know what I mean, like that. So. When we would go to trial or we would go to class and stuff like that, we'd all get lined up. We'd do a special little freaking formation and then stack all our freaking rifles in a little TP like that. And then so 2 guys will go early chow. All right, you didn't want to be those guys. All right, like that. Early chow had to eat faster than the people that freaking like that because they had to go early chow. All right, eat their shit and then get back to relieve late chow. All right, because late chow were the guy that stayed back while everybody ate. You know what I mean, like that, to watch the rifles. So if you're a late chow, you know, you could like chill a little bit more, because that means everybody already came back, they got their rifles, and they are already on to the next, you know, freaking place where they need to be at. So then they can go like that and kind of chill. And like you had a grace period, like a longer grace period, that you weren't really gonna get in trouble. Like if you're gone for like 10-20 minutes, yeah, you take it too long and you're gonna get fucking quarter decked, you know what I mean, or sand pitted like that, you know what I mean. You don't want to know about the beach, you know what I mean, there.
Right.
All right. And so like that. But the thing is that, yeah, you could chill, eat, and like if you're real lucky and like sneaky and stuff like that, you can get some ice cream and stuff like that. I was like, shit like that. Like, yeah, if you're a late child, you know what I mean. So, but other than that, bro, like it was just the worst. All right.